The Galactic Discovery. In the vast expanse of space, where countless civilizations had risen and fallen, humanity remained blissfully unaware of its cosmic neighbors. Earth, a vibrant blue marble suspended in the inky blackness, continued its eternal dance around the sun, its inhabitants focused on their own triumphs and tribulations. Little did they know that their solitude was about to come to an abrupt end. Dr. Samantha Chen stood in the control room of the Hawking Space Center, her eyes fixed on the massive view screen before her. The countdown timer ticked away relentlessly, each second bringing humanity closer to a moment that would change everything. Around her, a team of the world's brightest scientists and engineers worked feverishly, their fingers dancing across holographic interfaces as they made last-minute adjustments. T-minus 60 seconds, announced the AI assistant, its voice calm and devoid of the excitement that permeated the room. Samantha took a deep breath, her hand unconsciously moving to the pendant around her neck, a gift from her late mentor, Dr. Alexei Kuznetsov. "This is for you, old friend," she whispered. "We're about to make your dream a reality." The Hawking Kuznetsov drive, named after the legendary physicist and Samantha's mentor, was humanity's first true attempt at faster-than-light travel. Years of research, countless failures, and one tragic accident had led to this moment. The unmanned probe sitting on the launch pad outside was about to attempt what many had deemed impossible, to break the light barrier. T-minus 30 seconds. Samantha's gaze shifted to her colleague and friend, Dr. Jamal Okafor. The quantum physicist gave her a reassuring nod, his usually jovial face now a mask of concentration. They had argued, debated, and pushed each other to the brink over the past 5 years, but now they stood united on the precipice of history. T-minus 10 seconds, initiating final launch sequence. The room fell silent, the only sound the soft hum of machinery and the rapid beating of hearts. Samantha's fingers tightened around the edge of her console, her knuckles turning white. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. A brilliant flash of light erupted on the view screen as the probe's engines roared to life. The sleek, arrow-shaped craft rose from the launch pad, surrounded by a shimmering field of energy. The containment barrier for the exotic matter that powered the Hawking Kuznetsov drive. Altitude, 100 kilometers and rising, reported the AI. All systems nominal. Samantha allowed herself a small smile. So far, so good. But the real test was yet to come. Preparing for drive activation, Jamal announced, his fingers flying over his console. Exotic matter containment at 100%. Space-time metric stable. The probe continued to ascend, quickly leaving Earth's atmosphere behind. As it reached the designated activation point, Samantha felt her heart skip a beat. This was it, the moment of truth. Activating Hawking Kuznetsov drive in 3, 2, 1. The view screen erupted in a dazzling display of light and color. The probe seemed to stretch for a moment, elongating impossibly before vanishing in a flash of blue-white energy. For a heartbeat, silence reigned in the control room. Then, chaos erupted. "Drive activation successful," Jamal shouted, pumping his fist in the air. "We've done it, Sam. We've actually done it." Cheers and applause filled the room as the realization sank in. Humanity had just taken its first step into the cosmic ocean, breaking free from the shackles of subliminal travel. Samantha laughed, tears of joy streaming down her face as she hugged Jamal. "He would be so proud," she said, thinking of Alexei. "We've opened the door to the stars." Little did they know that the door swung both ways. Millions of light years away, in a sector of space teeming with advanced civilizations, alarms began to blare. The Galactic Council, a coalition of the most powerful species in the known universe, had detected something unprecedented. A crude yet effective faster-than-light drive, activated by a previously unknown species. In the grand chamber of the Council's headquarters, beings of all shapes and sizes gathered around a holographic display of the Milky Way. A pulsing red dot marked the origin of the strange signal. High Counselor Zixthera, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline exoskeleton, addressed the assembly. Esteemed colleagues, we have a situation of utmost importance. It appears that a new species has achieved faster-than-light travel without our guidance or intervention. Murmurs of disbelief and concern rippled through the chamber. Such an event was nearly unheard of in the history of the galaxy. "But that's impossible!" exclaimed Grok, a multi-limbed creature with iridescent scales. "No species has ever developed FTL technology independently. The risks of interdimensional breaches are too great without proper safeguards." Zixthera's crystalline form pulsed with agreement. "Indeed, Grok, which is why we must act quickly. This species, wherever they are, whatever they may be, poses a potential threat not just to themselves, but to the entire fabric of space-time." "What do we know about them?" asked Ilara, a gaseous being that shimmered with bioluminescence. A holographic readout appeared before the council. "Very little," Zixthera admitted. "The signal originated from the third planet of a yellow dwarf star in the Orion Arm. Initial scans show a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere and signs of industrial civilization. But here's the most intriguing part. The planet's gravity and atmospheric conditions are extreme by our standards." The council members recoiled in shock as the planetary data was displayed. By the metrics of most galactic civilizations, this world was a death trap. High gravity, corrosive atmosphere, and extreme temperature variations. "By the cosmic winds," Grok whispered, "what kind of monstrosities could evolve on such a world?" Zixthera's form pulsed rapidly, a sign of deep thought. "Whatever they are, they've achieved something remarkable. We cannot ignore this development. I propose we send a first contact team immediately." The motion was quickly seconded and approved. As the council dispersed to prepare for this unprecedented encounter, a sense of both excitement and trepidation filled the air. The galaxy was about to change forever, all because of a small blue planet and its tenacious inhabitants. Back on Earth, blissfully unaware of the cosmic wheels now turning, Samantha Chen stared out at the star-filled sky. The probe had long since disappeared from view, carrying humanity's hopes and dreams into the unknown. She couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something much bigger than she could imagine. As the first rays of dawn began to paint the horizon, Samantha allowed herself a moment of pure, unbridled optimism. "Whatever's out there," she whispered to the stars, "we're ready for you." Little did she know, the universe was about to answer in ways she could never have predicted. First contact and misunderstandings. The weeks following the successful launch of the Hawking Kuznetsov probe were a whirlwind of activity for Dr. Samantha Chen and her team. As they pored over the data streaming back from their groundbreaking experiment, the world around them buzzed with excitement and speculation. News of humanity's first faster-than-light journey had leaked, sparking a global frenzy of hope, fear, and wild theories about what lay beyond the cosmic veil. Little did they know that their actions had set in motion events that would forever change the course of human history. It was a crisp autumn morning when it happened. Samantha was in her office, reviewing the latest telemetry from the probe, when an urgent call came through from the International Space Station. "Dr. Chen, you need to see this." The station commander's voice crackled over the comm, a mix of awe and trepidation evident in his tone. "We've got multiple unknown objects entering the solar system at incredible speed. They're decelerating as they approach Earth." Samantha felt her heart skip a beat. "Are you certain? Could it be some kind of sensor malfunction?" "Negative, Doctor. We've triple-checked. These are artificial objects, and they're heading straight for us." The next few hours were a blur of emergency meetings, frantic preparations, and global panic as the news spread. Military forces around the world were placed on high alert, while governments struggled to present a united front in the face of this unprecedented situation. As the alien vessels entered Earth orbit, a tense silence fell over the planet. Communication systems worldwide crackled to life, broadcasting a message in perfect, accentless English. People of Earth, we come in peace. We are representatives of the Galactic Council, a coalition of civilizations dedicated to the preservation of life and knowledge throughout the cosmos. Your recent faster-than-light experiment has brought you to our attention. We wish to establish diplomatic relations and welcome you to the galactic community. The message repeated in various languages, leaving humanity in a state of shock and disbelief. First contact had arrived, not with a bang, but with a cordial invitation. In the days that followed, a delegation of world leaders and top scientists, including Samantha and Jamal, was hastily assembled to meet with the alien representatives. The chosen location was a specially constructed neutral zone in Geneva, Switzerland. As the human delegation entered the meeting chamber, they found themselves face to face with beings that defied their wildest imaginations. The alien representatives were a diverse group, each species more bizarre than the last. Leading the alien delegation was High Counselor Zixthera, their crystalline form shimmering with pulses of light that seemed to convey emotions. Beside them stood Grok, the multi-limbed iridescent scaled being, and Ilara, the gaseous entity that floated gracefully above the ground. Welcome, honored representatives of Earth. Zixthera's voice resonated in the minds of the human delegation, a feat of advanced telepathic technology. We are pleased to make your acquaintance. What followed was a series of well-intentioned but increasingly awkward attempts at cultural exchange. The aliens, accustomed to dealing with species that had been gradually introduced to the galactic community, found themselves unprepared for the sheer diversity and contradictions of human culture. One of the first misunderstandings occurred when Grok, attempting to show respect, extended all 8 of his limbs for a traditional greeting. The human delegates, unsure of how to respond, awkwardly tried to shake each limb, resulting in a tangle of arms and tentacles that took several minutes to sort out. Ilara, in an attempt to ease the tension, tried to share a popular galactic joke. Unfortunately, the punchline relied heavily on an understanding of 5-dimensional mathematics and the mating habits of gaseous beings. The joke fell flat, leaving the humans confused and slightly uncomfortable. The real challenges began when the discussion turned to more substantial matters. The aliens were particularly interested in understanding how humans had developed faster-than-light technology on their own, a feat unprecedented in galactic history. Samantha, taking the lead, began to explain the principles behind the Hawking Kuznets of drive. However, she quickly realized that the universal translator was struggling with the complex scientific terminology. What should have been a straightforward explanation of quantum mechanics and exotic matter manipulation came across as a bizarre mix of Earth idioms and garbled physics. So, you see, Samantha said, growing increasingly flustered, it's like trying to push a piece of string. You can't do it directly, but if you loop the string around a pulley and pull, if you create a bubble of warped spacetime. The alien delegates exchanged confused looks. Zixthera's crystalline form flickered rapidly, a sign of deep perplexity. Are you saying, they asked slowly, that your faster-than-light drive operates on the principles of string manipulation and bubbles? Jamal, seeing Samantha's struggle, tried to jump in with an analogy. Think of it like surfing, he exclaimed. The ship rides a wave of warped spacetime, just like a surfer rides an ocean wave. This explanation was met with blank stares from the alien delegation. The concept of surfing was entirely foreign to species that had evolved on worlds without large bodies of liquid water. Grok, his scales shifting to a confused purple hue, tentatively raised a limb. Forgive me, but are you suggesting that your ships swim through space? The human delegates exchanged exasperated looks. This was not going as smoothly as they had hoped. As the meeting progressed, more misunderstandings piled up. The aliens were shocked to learn of the extreme conditions on Earth, unable to comprehend how intelligent life could evolve in such a hostile environment. When told about the planet's tectonic activity, seasonal weather patterns, and diverse ecosystems, the alien delegates reacted with a mix of horror and disbelief. You mean to tell us, Ilara gasped, her gaseous form swirling in agitation, that your world is constantly trying to kill you. And you consider this normal? The human representatives, for their part, were equally baffled by some of the alien concepts. When Zixthera casually mentioned that their species reproduced by budding crystals in zero-gravity conditions, several human scientists had to excuse themselves to process this information. Despite the confusion and occasional faux pas, both sides remained committed to establishing a peaceful relationship. As the first day of talks drew to a close, there was a sense of cautious optimism in the air. Samantha, exhausted but exhilarated, turned to Jamal as they left the meeting chamber. "Well, that was interesting," she said with a wry smile. Jamal chuckled, shaking his head in amazement. Who would have thought that making first contact would be like the world's most awkward dinner party? As they walked away, discussing the day's events, neither of them noticed the small cleaning drone that had been quietly observing the proceedings. The drone, a standard piece of equipment in the alien delegation's arsenal, had been busily cataloging and analyzing every aspect of the human representatives. Back on the alien ship, the data from the drone was being processed and interpreted. The results were causing quite a stir among the alien analysts. "High Counselor," one of the alien scientists reported, "You're not going to believe this, but according to our preliminary analysis, these humans are far more resilient and adaptable than we initially thought. Their physiology, their cognitive processes, their very evolution. It's unlike anything we've ever encountered." Zixthera's crystalline form pulsed with intense curiosity. "Interesting. It seems we may have underestimated these creatures from the Deathworld. Continue monitoring them closely. I have a feeling they may surprise us yet." As the aliens pondered this new information, the people of Earth celebrated their first night as a recognized member of the galactic community. Little did they know that their journey into the cosmic spotlight was just beginning, and that their unique nature would soon be put to the test in ways they could never have imagined. The Deathworld Challenge. In the weeks following the initial first contact, Earth buzzed with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The presence of alien diplomats had become a common sight in major cities, their strange forms drawing curious crowds wherever they went. Meanwhile, human representatives had begun making tentative forays into alien environments, taking their first steps into a wider galactic society. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the forefront of these exchanges, her expertise in the Hawking-Kuznetsov drive, making her an invaluable asset in discussions of interstellar travel and technology sharing. However, she couldn't shake the feeling that the aliens were holding something back, treating humans with a mixture of fascination and barely concealed concern. It was during one such meeting aboard the alien flagship in Earth orbit that the true nature of their predicament became clear. "Dr. Chen," High Counselor Zixthera began, their crystalline form pulsing with what Samantha had come to recognize as nervousness, "we find ourselves in an unusual situation. Your species' rapid advancement and the extreme nature of your homeworld have raised concerns among some members of the Galactic Council." Samantha felt a chill run down her spine. "Concerns? I don't understand. We've been nothing but cooperative." Grok, his scales shimmering a somber blue, stepped forward. "It's not a question of cooperation, Doctor. It's a matter of potential. You see, in all our history, we've never encountered a species that evolved on a world as harsh as Earth. The fact that you've not only survived but thrived in such conditions is, frankly, it's terrifying to some." "Terrifying," Samantha echoed, incredulous. "But we've shown no hostility." Ilara's gaseous form swirled in what might have been a sigh. "It's not about hostility, Dr. Chen. It's about capability. Your people casually endure conditions that would be lethal to most known species. You've developed faster than light travel independently, a feat previously thought impossible. Some fear what might happen if you were to set your minds to less peaceful pursuits." Samantha felt a surge of indignation. "So what are you saying? That we're too dangerous to be allowed into your galactic community?" Zixthera's form flickered rapidly. Not at all. But to allay these fears and prove your species' worth, the Council has proposed a challenge. We call it the Deathworld Trials. And so, the stage was set for humanity's greatest test. The Deathworld Trials, as explained by the alien diplomats, were a series of survival challenges designed to push the limits of endurance, adaptability, and problem-solving. Participants from various species would be placed in environments simulating some of the harshest conditions found throughout the galaxy. The human delegation, led by Samantha, argued fiercely against the necessity of such trials. But as the alternative seemed to be isolation from the galactic community, they reluctantly agreed to participate. A team of human volunteers was assembled, representing a diverse cross-section of Earth's population. Among them was Major Sarah Hawkins, a seasoned Special Forces operator. Dr. Raj Patel, a brilliant xenobiologist. Chen Wei, an environmental engineer with a knack for improvisation. And surprisingly, Jamal Okafor, who insisted on joining despite Samantha's protests. Someone needs to be there to document this for scientific purposes, Jamal had argued with a grin. Besides, I've always wanted to be an astronaut. As the human team prepared for the trials, news of the challenge spread across Earth. What had started as a diplomatic necessity quickly became a point of pride for humanity. People from all walks of life rallied behind their representatives, seeing this as humanity's chance to prove its worth on the galactic stage. The first trial took place on a massive space station specifically designed for the event. As the human team stepped into the preparation chamber, they found themselves face to face with representatives from a dozen other species, each regarding the Earthlings with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. "Welcome, contestants," boomed a voice over the station's communication system. "Your first challenge will test your ability to adapt to extreme gravitational conditions. You will navigate an obstacle course under varying levels of gravity, from near zero to 5 times your species standard. The first team to complete the course wins this round." As the challenge began, the aliens watched in astonishment as the humans not only held their own but excelled. Major Hawkins' military training shone through in zero environments, her movements precise and efficient. Dr. Patel's understanding of biology allowed him to coach his teammates on how to move their bodies effectively under high gravity. But it was Chen Wei who truly shocked the observers. Using materials from the obstacle course itself, she quickly fashioned crude but effective exo-assists for her teammates, allowing them to better handle the extreme gravitational shifts. "Incredible," muttered one of the alien judges. "They're not just surviving, they're innovating on the fly." The human team finished the course in record time, leaving their alien competitors in awe. But this was just the beginning. The trials that followed tested every aspect of human endurance and ingenuity. In a challenge simulating extreme temperature variations, the team showcased their ability to withstand both freezing cold and searing heat. Jamal's quick thinking led to the creation of improvised insulation using available materials, while Major Hawkins' survival training helped them conserve energy and resources. During a test of adaptation to toxic atmospheres, Dr. Patel's expertise came to the forefront. He quickly analyzed the alien environments and devised breathing techniques and makeshift filtration systems that allowed the team to navigate safely. With each trial, the humans not only survived but thrived, often finding creative solutions that the challenge designers hadn't anticipated. Their ability to work together, combining their diverse skills and knowledge, consistently gave them an edge over the other competitors. As the trials progressed, the attitude of the alien observers began to shift. What had started as skepticism turned to grudging respect, and then to outright admiration. The humans' tenacity, their ability to adapt on the fly, and their unwavering determination in the face of seemingly impossible odds were unlike anything the galactic community had seen before. It was during the final trial, a complex problem-solving challenge involving alien technology and unfamiliar physical laws, that humanity's true potential shone through. While other teams struggled to understand the alien concepts, the human team, led by Samantha and Jamal's scientific expertise, began to make connections and leaps of logic that astounded the observers. "They're not just solving the problem," one alien scientist remarked in awe. "They're improving upon the original design. How is this possible?" As the human team emerged victorious from the final trial, exhausted but exhilarated, they were met with a standing ovation from aliens and humans alike. The message was clear. Humanity had not just proven its worth, it had exceeded all expectations. In the aftermath of the Deathworld trials, High Counselor Zixthera addressed the human team. Their crystalline form pulsed with colors that Samantha had learned to associate with deep respect and a touch of humility. "Representatives of Earth," Zixthera began, "you have shown us something truly remarkable. Your species' ability to adapt, to innovate, and to overcome challenges is unlike anything we have encountered in our long history. We came here wondering if you were too dangerous to join our galactic community. We now realize that we would be fools not to embrace the unique perspective and incredible potential you bring." As Samantha listened to Zixthera's speech, she felt a swell of pride for her species, but she also recognized the enormous responsibility that came with their success. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage, but this was just the beginning of their cosmic journey. Later, as the human team celebrated their victory, Jamal pulled Samantha aside. "You know," he said with a grin, "I think we might have just changed the course of galactic history." Samantha laughed, the weight of their accomplishment finally sinking in. "I think you might be right," she replied. "But something tells me the real challenges are only just beginning." As they looked out at the stars from the space station's observation deck, both scientists felt a sense of excitement and trepidation. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, but what adventures and trials awaited them in the vast, unknown cosmos? Only time would tell. Humanity's ingenuity unveiled. The successful completion of the Deathworld trials marked a turning point in humanity's relationship with the galactic community. No longer viewed as potential threats, humans were now seen as valuable allies, bringing a unique perspective forged in the crucible of Earth's harsh environment. As the barriers of mistrust fell away, opportunities for collaboration flourished, and humanity's true potential began to shine. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the center of this new era of cooperation. The Hawking-Kuznetsov drive, once a source of concern for the Galactic Council, was now the subject of intense interest and study. Samantha and her team were invited to work alongside the brightest minds in the galaxy to refine and improve the technology. "It's fascinating," Samantha remarked to Jamal, as they pored over holographic schematics in a state-of-the-art alien laboratory. "Our crude design actually opens up possibilities that their more advanced tech overlooked. Sometimes, thinking outside the box means forgetting there was a box in the first place." Jamal nodded, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "And it's not just in propulsion. Every field we touch, we seem to bring a fresh perspective. It's like we're the galaxy's ultimate out-of-the-box thinkers." Indeed, as humans integrated into various aspects of galactic society, their impact was felt across multiple disciplines. In medicine, Earth's biodiversity proved to be a treasure trove of potential cures for ailments that had long plagued other species. Dr. Raj Patel, fresh from his success in the Deathworld trials, led a team that revolutionized xenobiology by applying principles derived from Earth's complex ecosystems. One particularly notable breakthrough came in the field of environmental engineering. Chen Wei, drawing on her experiences in managing Earth's varied and often extreme climates, developed a revolutionary terraforming technique that could adapt inhospitable planets for habitation in a fraction of the time previously thought possible. "It's all about working with the planet, not against it," Chen explained during a galactic symposium that drew thousands of alien scientists. "Earth taught us that life finds a way, even in the harshest conditions. We're just giving it a little nudge in the right direction." Her methods, which combined advanced alien technology with principles observed in Earth's natural recovery from disasters, sparked a new wave of colonization efforts across the galaxy. Worlds once thought too hostile for settlement were suddenly brimming with possibility. But it wasn't just in the sciences that humanity made its mark. The rich tapestry of Earth's cultures, arts, and philosophies fascinated many alien species. Human music, with its diverse rhythms and harmonies, became a sensation across the galaxy. Earth's literature, with its themes of triumph over adversity, resonated deeply with many alien readers. Even human cuisine, born from the necessity of surviving in varied environments, became a subject of intense interest. Alien gourmands marveled at the ingenuity of dishes that combined flavors in ways their own cultures had never conceived. However, humanity's integration into galactic society was not without its challenges. The very traits that made humans so adaptable and innovative, their competitiveness, their drive to push boundaries, sometimes led to misunderstandings and conflicts. One such incident occurred during a joint military exercise between human forces and several alien species. Major Sarah Hawkins, now serving as a liaison between Earth's defense forces and the Galactic Peacekeeping Corps, found herself having to explain the concept of war games to bewildered alien colleagues. "You mean you simulate conflict for fun?" asked a horrified Grok, his scales shifting to a pale green of distress. Sarah sighed, realizing the cultural gap she needed to bridge. "It's not about fun, it's about preparation. By simulating potential conflicts, we can develop strategies to prevent real ones from occurring." This explanation led to heated debates among the alien military leaders. Some saw the wisdom in humanity's approach, while others feared it might encourage aggressive behavior. In the end, a compromise was reached. The war games would proceed, but with a focus on cooperative problem-solving rather than simulated combat. The exercise proved to be a resounding success. Human tactical thinking, combined with the unique abilities of various alien species, resulted in strategies that were far more effective than anything either group could have developed alone. The Galactic Peacekeeping Corps began to incorporate elements of human military doctrine into their training, leading to a more robust and adaptable force. As humanity's influence grew, so did the curiosity about Earth itself. The planet that had once been dismissed as a death world became a popular destination for alien researchers, tourists, and thrill-seekers eager to experience the challenges that had shaped such a resilient species. This influx of alien visitors led to some amusing incidents. In one memorable case, a group of gaseous beings from a low-gravity world attempted to go surfing, resulting in a bizarre spectacle of floating waterlogged aliens that had to be rescued by bemused human lifeguards. The incident went viral across galactic social media, cementing humanity's reputation as both gracious hosts and daredevils. But perhaps the most profound impact of humanity's integration into the galactic community came in the realm of problem-solving. Humans, it turned out, had a knack for finding unconventional solutions to long-standing issues. One such breakthrough occurred when a team led by Jamal Okafor tackled a centuries-old problem in faster-than-light communication. By applying principles from Earth's quantum entanglement experiments and combining them with alien tech, they developed a system that allowed for instantaneous communication across vast distances, revolutionizing interstellar logistics and governance. "It's not that we're smarter," Jamal explained to an awestruck audience at the Galactic Science Academy. "We just have a different perspective. Where others see insurmountable obstacles, we see challenges to overcome. It's in our DNA." This sentiment was echoed by High Counselor Zix Thera during a historic address to the Galactic Council. Their crystalline form, pulsing with colors of admiration and hope, Zix Thera declared, "The inclusion of humanity in our cosmic family has ushered in a new age of innovation and progress. Their unique way of thinking, born from the crucible of their challenging homeworld, has reinvigorated our society and opened up possibilities we had never before imagined." As the council chamber erupted in a chorus of agreement, expressed through various alien means, from bioluminescent flashes to harmonic resonances, Samantha and her team watched from an observation gallery, a sense of pride and responsibility washing over them. "You know," Samantha said, turning to her colleagues, "When we first launched that probe, I never imagined it would lead to all this. We set out to explore the stars, and in doing so, we've helped reshape the galaxy." Jamal nodded, a thoughtful expression on his face. "And we're just getting started. Who knows what other challenges await us out there?" As if in answer to his question, an urgent message flashed across their communication devices. The Galactic Council was calling an emergency session. A crisis was brewing on the fringes of known space, one that threatened the stability of the entire galactic community. As they rushed to the council chambers, Samantha couldn't help but feel a mix of anxiety and excitement. Whatever this new challenge was, she knew that humanity would face it the same way they had faced every other obstacle in their history, with determination, creativity, and an unwavering belief that no problem was unsolvable. Little did they know that this crisis would put all of humanity's newfound galactic goodwill and ingenuity to the ultimate test, forcing them to confront not just external threats, but the very nature of their place in the cosmic order. A new era of cooperation. The Galactic Council chamber was abuzz with tension as representatives from countless species gathered to address the looming crisis. Dr. Samantha Chen, Jamal Okafor, and the rest of the human delegation took their seats, still marveling at the diversity of life forms surrounding them despite the gravity of the situation. High Counselor Zixthera's crystalline form pulsed with urgent, deep red hues as they addressed the assembly. "Esteemed colleagues, we face a threat unlike any in our recorded history. An anomaly has been detected at the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy, growing at an alarming rate. Our best scientists believe it to be a tear in the fabric of space-time itself, possibly caused by the misuse of faster-than-light technology." A wave of murmurs and worried exclamations rippled through the chamber. Samantha felt a chill run down her spine, remembering the early, failed experiments with the Hawking Kuznetsov drive. Zixthera continued, their voice resonating with concern. "If left unchecked, this anomaly could expand exponentially, consuming entire star systems and potentially threatening the stability of both our galaxy and Andromeda. We must act swiftly and decisively." As the council erupted into a cacophony of proposed solutions and dire predictions, Samantha leaned over to Jamal, her mind racing. "This sounds eerily similar to the containment issues we faced in the early days of the drive, but on a galactic scale." Jamal nodded grimly. "If only we had a way to apply our containment field technology on such a massive scale, but the power requirements alone would be—" Suddenly, Chen Wei, who had been quietly listening, spoke up. "What if we don't try to contain it? What if we try to close it instead?" All eyes turned to the human delegation. Grok, his scales shimmering with a mix of hope and skepticism, asked, "Close a tear in space-time. Is such a thing even possible?" Samantha stood, her voice clear and determined. "With all due respect to the Council, I believe we humans might have a unique perspective on this problem. We've dealt with similar, albeit smaller, issues in our FTL research. If you'll allow us, we'd like to propose a solution." Over the next few hours, the human team, working in concert with the brightest minds from across the galaxy, outlined an audacious plan. It involved a combination of human ingenuity, alien technology, and principles drawn from the varied environments of 100 worlds. The plan was as brilliant as it was dangerous. Using a fleet of ships equipped with modified Hawking Kuznetsov drives, they would create a controlled network of micro-tiers around the anomaly. These micro-tiers, carefully calibrated, would create a sort of space-time suture, drawing the edges of the main tear together. "Think of it like closing a wound," Dr. Raj Patel explained, drawing on his medical background. "We're essentially going to stitch space-time back together." The plan was met with a mix of awe and trepidation. It was untested, risky, and required a level of precision that seemed almost impossible. But as the projections of the anomaly's growth cast a dark shadow over the Council's holographic displays, it became clear that conventional solutions would not suffice. After much debate, the Council approved the plan. What followed was the greatest cooperative effort in galactic history. Shipyards across multiple star systems worked tirelessly to modify vessels with the new technology. Scientists from 1,000 worlds collaborated to refine the calculations needed for the specific suture. As preparations neared completion, a sobering reality set in. The mission would require a team to manually oversee the process from dangerously close to the anomaly. The risk of being pulled in was significant. Without hesitation, Samantha, Jamal, and their team volunteered. "This all started with our drive," Samantha said firmly. "It's our responsibility to see it through." The day of the mission arrived all too soon. As the fleet of ships took up their positions around the anomaly, an eerie silence fell over the galactic communication channels. Billions of beings across 2 galaxies held their breath, watching and waiting. From the bridge of the lead ship, Samantha gave the order to begin. One by one, the ships activated their modified drives, tearing tiny controlled holes in the fabric of space-time. The effect was immediate and breathtaking. Streams of energy began to flow between the micro-tiers and the main anomaly, creating a web of light that stretched across the starfield. For several tense hours, the team worked feverishly, adjusting calculations on the fly as the anomaly reacted to their efforts. There were moments of near disaster, as unexpected surges threatened to tear their ships apart or expand the very rift they were trying to close. But in those moments of crisis, the true strength of the galactic community shone through. Humans and aliens alike contributed ideas, drawing on their unique experiences and perspectives. A solution proposed by a silicon-based life form from a high-pressure world meshed perfectly with an insight from Major Sarah Hawkins' military training, averting catastrophe at a crucial moment. As the process neared its conclusion, a new problem arose. The final closure would release an enormous burst of energy. The team's ship, positioned to oversee the operation, would be directly in its path. "We need to get out of here now," Jamal shouted over the blaring alarms. "The drive's not responding. We don't have enough power to outrun the shockwave." It was then that an alien voice crackled over the comm system. "Human friends, do not fear. We will carry you to safety." To the team's astonishment, a massive ship of unknown design cloaked beside them. It was the Skirth, a reclusive species known for their advanced phase-shifting technology. In an instant, both ships shimmered and vanished, reappearing a safe distance away, just as the anomaly collapsed in on itself with a silent, blinding flash. As the light faded, a cheer erupted across every communication channel. The plan had worked. The tear in space-time had been sealed, and 2 galaxies had been saved. In the aftermath of the crisis, the galactic community found itself transformed. The bonds forged in the face of existential threat had created a new sense of unity and purpose. Humanity, once viewed with suspicion and fear, was now celebrated across the cosmos for their pivotal role in averting disaster. But for Samantha, Jamal, and their team, the true victory was not in the accolades or the technological leap forward. It was in the moment they stood on the observation deck of the Galactic Council station, watching ships from 100 worlds working together to rebuild and strengthen the bonds between civilizations. "You know," Samantha said, a smile playing on her lips, "when we first looked up at the stars, we wondered if we were alone in the universe. We feared we might find enemies or be seen as a threat ourselves." Jamal nodded, understanding where she was going. "But instead, we found something far greater. We found friends, allies, a whole community waiting for us to join them." As they watched a group of alien children, a mix of species from across the galaxy, play together in the station's zero-gravity garden, Samantha felt a sense of profound optimism for the future. "We've come so far," she mused, "from a single world, afraid of our own shadows, to this, a part of something greater than we ever imagined. And the best part," Jamal added with a grin, "we're just getting started." As if to emphasize his point, a notification chimed on their devices. The Galactic Council was calling for volunteers for a new initiative, an intergalactic exploration program aimed at bridging the vast distances between galaxies. Samantha and Jamal exchanged a knowing look. The stars were calling, and humanity, hand in hand with their new alien friends, was ready to answer. The greatest adventure was just beginning. In that moment, as they stepped forward to volunteer once again, they knew that the spirit of human ingenuity, resilience, and cooperation that had brought them to the stars would carry them forward into a bright, limitless future. A future where the phrase humanity, fuck yeah, was not just a rallying cry for Earth, but a celebration of the indomitable spirit of life across the cosmos.